Hello and welcome back to Railroader. So today we are here going to be running routine service down the line. As you can see from the last episode, we have added a few cars. So we did pick up one more of the passenger cars that matches the first one. We went ahead and adjusted the paint. We also did pick up one of the heavy observation cars for the end of the passenger train. This one turns around and gives you a 20% bonus to the pay for the passengers as long as it's on the end of the train. So with that, we'll go in and take a look, see the trap doors that open up, which is pretty cool. Head into the door, which all is pretty cool. These chairs you can actually sit down in, so that's kind of cool. Probably nowhere near looking at it, but there you go. Get a look inside. You can sit down. So we did turn around and pick one of these up for, first class passengers, if you will, and quite frankly, a lot of times we fill it with the crew. So there you go. Bathrooms, closets, everything you need in store here. So that's all pretty cool. And again, you do get a 20% bonus to the pay for the passengers if that one's on the back. So figured that was worth picking up. And then we have been expanding service where we've been getting 100 and some passengers, so we did go ahead and throw that other passenger car in there. Not sure. Yeah, we actually don't have any passengers waiting right this minute, so we'll probably go ahead and wait an hour and kick that along. Probably give us a few passengers to run the line. Yeah, there we go. 54, just like that. So we got to turn around, just kind of killing time, waiting for logs to unload in between things and running passenger service while we do that. So that's where we're at with this for now. Actually, I suppose I should have done that different. Go here, get the passengers. Perfect. Great, cool. Already loading up. So that's all done. Actually, we got a lot of people on board. Wait a minute. Alright, cool. Oh, there. That's why there was nobody there, probably. Oh, sure. That makes sense. But whatever, now we got a full load, so that's cool. Already loaded. Didn't even think about it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, now we got 100 and some people on board, so this will actually pay off pretty good then. Get that moving down the rail. Alright, off with the brakes. And kick it into gear, I suppose. Moving along. This locomotive, I gotta say, I like a lot. It performs really well. Great burn rate. You can get a lot of runs. This thing's been running like crazy throughout the day. I don't know. I think I'm on like day maybe 8 or 9 or something. 9. I think we're up to day 9 on this save file. Not taking out any loans or anything and just running, loads as much as we possibly can, which is starting to make a little bit of money now that we actually have things going. So making a little bit of progress as it is. Having a lot of fun playing it, figuring out a lot of things along the way. Obviously, many different ways you can run your railroad. And we're just having a heck of a lot of fun playing in groups mostly. This one, honestly, in between things, figured to turn around and kind of just throw in a quiet little passenger run as we are on phase 2, or with the coming day, we'll have the phase 2 load for the Bryson Bridge coming. And then we'll be probably running some freight in some coming up episodes because we'll have a lot more freight coming with those. Should be a big day of freight coming up, actually, on the railroad on the next day. So we'll probably have a few more freight loads coming up at any rate, and not just running passenger service. We have just been kind of starting up passenger service and getting it going, and realizing how many runs a day and how often the passengers show up and what it's worth running. Kind of trying to figure all that stuff out as we go along. So that's been interesting, kind of trying to optimize loads in there as it's a new game, and figuring out along the way has been a lot of fun, actually. So cruising along. This part of the line is pretty smooth. This is actually the part where we can go ahead and open this thing up and let it kind of run. So we'll go ahead and do that for this run. Been running economically fuel friendly at 35 all day, pretty much 30-35 all day. Run a lot of loads today. Passenger service been running at just about on the hour all day through this day in the game. So many loads. We've even tried running 2 times an hour, which you do make a little more money, but you have a little less passengers through, so it's probably a little less efficient, if you know, but you are actually making more money, or at least that's what we're finding so far. But just kind of trying to maintain the once an hour service at this point is kind of what we're doing with this save file. Alright, we'll go ahead and scoot that over. Probably take this and then move the whole thing down here. I'm going to look at where we are on the map as we're zooming along. You can see our icon there. Just kind of cruising. And this is like the high speed portion of the track, or at least for some of the guys who are really getting this thing up, you know, whatever. Been over 60 miles, 65, I think, 63, 65, something like that. Been cruising. Still haven't done any damage to things, so everybody's being real careful and pulling it off, which is kind of amazing. Actually, at this point, I mean, we did have 8% damage, whatever, a little bit of damage to cars, but that was from when we first started and hooking up to cars, really more so than anything else. So really have avoided damage up until this point, which has been pretty cool. There we go. Now we're making some headway. I'm probably a little more gentle on the equipment, but cutting the checks, you know, has a tendency to do that. So there you go, you know. Alright. Keep it cruising along, and we have the, I don't know, it's like 30-mile-an-hour curve up here as we head into the station or something like that. So I always tend to lay back, kind of chill out. I guess there we go, 50 miles an hour. So I shouldn't be saying much. Probably start to slow that down a bit. Get us down to a little more reasonable speed so we don't break anything crazy. Fair warning to all. Locomotive is on the way. Passengers, passengers, passengers. Running tons of them. But, you know, it's paying the bills, so it's starting to actually make some headway, making a couple $100s a trip up and down the line. So, you know, you do that enough times in a day, it's certainly starting to add up. Have the good pay from the sawmill at this point. The sawmill contract is kind of like our big pay. And then we just started running contract loads down to all the available stops that we possibly can. But everything there is like tier 1 contracts, so just kind of trying to still figure out where we're at and find the limits of how many loads we can run versus how many loads we want to run. You know, kind of trying to find that happy median somewhere in there so we don't get overworked and start running out of locos, as we still just have the 3 locomotives. Now that we have picked up the passenger cars And this train here is kind of complete. There you get a good look at the whole thing as we pull back. And I'm going way too fast into the turn. Probably going to break it as we're taking a look at it. That's what we get. But so as this one's done now, I think we're going to be picking up another locomotive is our next plan there. So we should be having a new locomotive in the next episode too. I would think we'll have a new locomotive by the time we get into the next episode. So that'll be cool coming up as we're looking for a freight road locomotive. So like, you know, running freight a little more long distance and at a little higher speed than what we're doing with the starting locomotives. That way this one can get dedicated really solely just to passenger service. So definitely open to suggestions on a good road freight loco. If you have them, please throw that in the comments down below, as I am at this point kind of unsure as to what loco I think is the direction to go. That's for sure. So open to suggestions for sure. Alright, let's pull that one up and get her stopped there. Looks like we have 24 passengers getting on, few people getting off, few people getting on, you know. That's how that goes. Overwhelmingly, though, this should actually pay decently. By the time we had that many passengers on board, just about had the thing full. So, take that anyway. Why not? Alright, what do we got? What are your 6 more to get on board? And there we go. Got paid for that one. $40 for the short stop. Now let's go see what we actually get paid down at the good stop. So, hopefully that's a little bigger paycheck than that. But if we get 40 at that one, okay, $40. We're looking for at least 200 a run, because it is 400 round trip, generally speaking, is the idea. So hopefully we can get that. Slide that down. Let that over. Let it work its way up through there and get us going on the rest of this. Probably should have gave a whistle before we left the station. Little warning, but hey, this train's in a hurry. Let's get it done. There we go. Get a good look at this. Good look at the front of the loco there. Nice. As he goes by, I think we can get rid of this now. We've shown most of the track. Probably turn this down, slow down. Part of this track here is 30 miles an hour, so just kind of general rule of thumb, running between there and here, I tend to keep it around 30, or try to anyway, more often than not around the 30 mile an hour range. Obviously run into 35 sometimes, but try not to get too crazy. See, there's the sign right there's one, 30 miles an hour. Why we kind of just try to keep it cool. Starting to run trains with the AI a little bit here and there, not doing a lot of that though. I don't know, I kind of like running them more so than just setting them and forgetting them. It's going to come in handy obviously when you have a lot of loads to run and you know, not got enough people to run them. We find that really we run a lot of loads in a group often, and then, you know, the rest of the time it's kind of just about maintaining passenger service and running the empties back. So today we didn't get a lot of the group service in there, as we got that done yesterday. We'll be having another big chunk coming out tonight when the next day kicks over, and then the final day of the bridge, I would assume, is going to be a big phase of freight moving too. So I'll try to get some of that in the video, and maybe I'll just try to start chunking it in together, and I don't know, we'll see how that goes. Shooting more days maybe into one video than per se just one run updates. I'm not exactly sure. By the way, that will cover this one. lot of progress to make. You got to run a lot of loads. A lot of them sometimes are the same loads, so I don't want to be turning around and just showing the same load all the time. So just kind of when we update things like this one, we got an awful lot of, new cars. This train's kind of situated now. I think we're going to do our passenger services. We've kind of come to the idea that we'll probably be running passenger services with a train set like this. So any more additions will be a whole new train like this to run, different sections of the track is kind of going to be our starting idea with that. Who knows, that might change going forward, shooting around ideas of the best ways to run the railroad. As like I say, new game, new ways. We could definitely run it in many different ways. Nobody really is like, ooh, this is the best way, so we're just trying things as we go. See what happens. Are those still open? Oh, oops. Nope. That's fast enough. This is the turn going into Whittier, which is the one I always go way slower than I need to, but I always, for some reason, I'm waiting to derail on this corner someday. Just the way I see it. There we go. Rolling into town. Not really town. Still have a fair amount of passengers on board though, so I would anticipate this is going to actually pay off pretty well. Or, in terms of early 1900s, pay well, right? Alright, let's start laying on the brake there. Bring it down. Be interesting to see if they do like actual passengers in the cars someday, or how that's all gonna go. Alright, so call that one good. That should let the passengers start to clear out. Make sure none of them can hear as they're getting out. Makes it easier to deal with the complaint department. Just blow the whistle a lot. $36 more passengers wait down here. They're going to be waiting. Looks like we have some active freight tickets. So we got some more cleanup to do along the rail. Just mount the vehicle. Let's move it, people. All day. Let's go. They do not get off rapidly sometimes, I'll tell you that. They're in no hurry now. Alright, that fixes that. Getting paid $227 in that drop. Yeah, so with the 40 on the other one, 260, actually $500 pretty much, or somewhere in that ballpark if we're running round trip. Doing that, I don't know. We've been doing that a lot. So turn around, as you can see, we've run a lot of loads today. So just one more in the link of the chain, but that's kind of the routine run of Railroader so far. But I think with that one, we are going to call it a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.